to dare to love. So tell me what you're thinking of.
Good evening, everybody. How's it going? My name is Jazz from the Lobby of Hobbies. Our idea here is answer, share, discover. So those that are here, I'm glad you decided to answer. I've got some sharing to do. I've got quite a bit of unboxings, a couple games here. Got a stack over on my right, stack over on my left. I put a poll up earlier this week just to see what you guys might be interested in. I had some 2-player small games. I have some big box stuff, Kickstarters that I've been looking to get to. The idea here is in the chat, feel free to just comment on what you want to see, what you want to go through. I have quite a bit. I'll even tell you what I have, honestly. Over here on my left-hand side, I've got some Seastead from WizKids, all right, 2-player game. We've got the Tapestry expansion, the Wingspan expansion. Over here, I've got quite a few Kickstarters. I got the Yeto, however you want to pronounce it. Deluxe Edition Kickstarter, unopened. Yes, I have received it. It's been on my shelf and shrink for quite some time. But as we go through, please feel free to just comment. Please feel free to share this. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And why don't you hit that bell just to get some notifications when we go live. This is new. We're a new channel. We've been doing this for quite a few months, but honestly, we are brand spanking new off the cuff. We just decided to share the things that we love. My partner, Ronald Judge, aka Astro Boy Productions. You'll probably see him in the chat. He's going to be helping us moderate today. Actually, a matter of fact, there he is, Astro Music Productions. All right, that's him over there on YouTube. He's also moderating the chat over on Facebook. So you can see us on both of these places. Feel free to share everything with your friends. And if you're watching this later, don't worry about it. Catch up later. Share our channel. You can find us on Facebook. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, you can just search at Lobby of Hobbies. You'll find our podcast page. You'll also find our group page, our community page, where just members of the community just get together. We just share things, post whatever we want when it comes to hobbies. We're doing board games here today. We also do video games as well. We just dropped our podcast earlier this week. That podcast was pretty much us, myself, and my co-host Judge, just dropping our top list of games, board games and video games that we would recommend people to purchase for themselves or for someone else, whether it be like a Pollyanna, a Secret Santa, something like that. And necessarily when it comes down to the gaming hobby, we've come to understand that games aren't necessarily something that everybody is going to be maybe right off the cuff looking to kind of get into. Everybody does enjoy the social aspect of gaming, whether it be getting a nice party game, playing Cards Against Humanity, gestures, charades, whatever the case may be. But, you know, obviously you see some with the stack behind me. Some of these games are not what you're going to see in your regular big box stores. Some are. There are some stores that are starting to carry good big box selections. But the idea is introducing people to things that they've probably never would have tried before. Let me get some water here. Stay hydrated, keep my mouth, you know, nice and fresh. But as we go through, I'm going to be looking at the comments. Judge is going to be looking at the comments as well. And we're going to be just having some fun tonight. I know my buddy Brandon over on the Facebook page, on our Facebook group page, actually voted for this first unboxing. I'm pretty sure, not sure if Brandon is watching today. Brandon, if you are in the chat, please feel free to drop us a line. But that game that he wanted to see today is actually Seastead from WizKids Games. It's a 2-player game. This is in the universe of Flotilla. Flotilla was a game that came out last year in 2019. Plays, I believe, 3 to 5 players. If I don't have it correctly, I did play for the first time at PAX Unplugged, which is a convention here in Philadelphia. I'm right over the bridge in New Jersey. It's a board gaming convention, strictly board games and tabletop games, where people just come together. Thousands of people come together just to see what vendors or what publishers are actually putting out and producing. And when it comes to some board games, Flotilla was one of the ones that was recently released. It was getting a lot of big buzz. And my buddy over at Gaming with Sidekicks, Isaac Villa, he might be stopping by tonight in the chat. If he is, you know, if you're there, Isaac, drop us a line. But Isaac was raving about this game, Flotilla. And I told him, hey, Isaac, if you get a chance, if you're making a long trek from Ohio, why don't you bring it? Let's try it. And I think after the convention, we probably started that game at like maybe just before midnight. It's quite a long game, but actually we were learning it to teach. You know, he taught the game, we played it. Great game. But this one here, Seastead, is the 2-player version of it. My buddy Brandon now owns my copy of Flotilla. Not that it wasn't a great game, it was a wonderful game, but you know, with the pandemic, for me, it's hard to get 3 players to the table sometimes to play a lengthy game. So this one is the 2-player version. All right, for those that want to see it. It's got some nice little components here. All right, I see Brian over there in the comments. Brian. All right, Brian, I know you like your unboxing. So here we go with Seastead. All right, or Seastead. So this one is a nice 2-player game. Plays in about 30 minutes. This is one thing I like about some of these small box games when it comes to board gaming. They come in this size packaging. Anything you kind of see in this size packaging when it says 2 players only, I come to find out that they're normally within under an hour play, which is good because they're nice little filler games. But when you have games like this, they're set to have, you know, some nice depth to them. All right, so let's get some of this trash. So here we go. First unboxing over here at the Lobby of Hobbies. All right. So there we go. We've got the rule book here. All right, nice little rule book. Pretty much explains everything. Got the components. We're going to get into those components a little bit. All right, but I've read through the rules actually on a PDF file. The game flows fairly simple. The idea is that you have these flotillas. Think of a water world. All right, flotillas out and about, and there are some resources. I believe you have fish is one of the resources, along with, let me get them. So it's fish, artifacts, kelp, and metal. And you're trying to collect these resources to put out your different buildings and, you know, pretty much in the end, see who has the most victory points. So there goes one of your flotillas right there. All right, so let's give you one of those flotillas right there. All right, so you got the game has, these are your, the cost of what it would be to put out a building on this. So it's be 5 resources. And depending on the resources, it's all determined on what's in this hex. So you have your 4 different resources. You see there's a hex-shaped resource here, and that one is kelp. So if kelp randomly, I believe, gets randomly distributed to the 4 flotillas that are out there. If it was on this one here, you're using your kelp to be able to build the different buildings that you have. So here you got some nice punch board, nothing, super sturdy. This is not, your crazy linen finish. But this one I have been looking to get to for quite some time, being that I did really, really enjoy Flotilla. So we have that. We have a score sheet here. All right. I like when games put a score sheet in. All right. If it doesn't have a score sheet, what I always hope for is that there's some type of app out there. Big shout out to the publishers that actually take the time to find a developer to put an app out that takes your score, makes it nice and easy. I like this. So here we go. We've got the 2-player boards. All right. They're nice and recessed. All right. Double layered boards. Okay. Yes, actually, Brian, I just see Brian's question here. He asked, is Seastead available? Actually, this copy, I believe, I got from GameNerds.com. I believe it's on Miniature Market. It might be on Cool Stuff Inc. It's probably in your local board game shops. This I have not seen, or I'm not sure if we will see it locally in like a Target or whatnot. But this one definitely is something you're going to probably look for on more your hobby board gaming stores. All right, so check this out. But it's really nice recessed boards. We have our wooden tokens, wooden meeple buildings. All right, very, very nice. They're chunky. They've got some nice little chunk to them. All right, so if I remember correctly, depending on what your player board is, you have these are called your shipyards. You'll place these out onto your board like so. You have your academies, all right, and then you would have lastly your ports, okay, and I believe once you have a port out, that I believe allows you, if I was reading the rules correctly, allows you to then start putting your ships out at the ports. Once you pay the resources to place one of your ports or one of your buildings out onto a space of the board, you're the only one who can put a building out there. I'm not sure if there's going to be any other maybe things that kind of mitigate that or change the rulings, but it's going to be one building per space. You're paying those resources, and I believe once a port's out, you'll be able to get a ship out there. But what's pretty cool, you have your 2 colors. You've got like this teal color, and then you've also got this nice it's like a burnt orange color. All right. So nice feel to them. If Isaac's out there, I know probably Isaac will be watching this later. Isaac, yeah, these ships are definitely much better than what we saw in Flotilla. I actually like these a lot better. They're chunkier, but again, they don't have to carry the resources. In Flotilla, you actually have a space on the back of the freight ship, which actually collects or holds the resources to be able to transport them through. So this game pretty much has, on your turn, you're pretty much doing 2 things. I remember in the rules, you have just a build action and you have a dive action. So you can dive for resources or you can build. And then there's going to be certain things that allow you to do more things on your turn. All right. So that is Seastead. All right. Sorry, I'm not the English major. Social sciences, psychology. But yes, let's get into, so that's that. Those are some of the components. We got some nice cards here. And then underneath the cards here are our dive cards. All right, let's get into some of these dive cards. All right. So what's pretty cool about this is you have different depths. I believe this is your deepest cards here. These are your, I guess in the like in Flotilla, these would be more of your shallow cards, and these would be your starting cards. So there's 4 of these. You would shuffle these up, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you shuffle these up. I'll look through the rules really quick to kind of help with the setup. But yeah, they call them, these are your shallow cards. These are the ones with this logo here. Let's get it. Your shelf cards. So these are your shelf. These are your shallow. And then these are your depths. So the 3 depths of what you're going to be doing as you're diving. And the deeper down you dive, the better the resources are, the more valuable those resources are. So if I remember correctly, you're going to shuffle the cards up. Once you shuffle them, you're going to put the depth cards at the bottom, the shelf cards in the center. You're going to have your dive cards or the shallow cards up top. And then the first thing you do is you take the first top 3, you discard them out of the game. And now you're left with this one card. And remember, this is a 2-player game. So depending on where you orient this card or how you sit, whether you're sitting this with your opponent to the left or the right of you, you're going to actually flip the top card over. And wherever this arrow is pointing, so if we were sitting left and right, so my opponent was on my left, the person to the left is actually going to they're going to be the starting player. And then these will be the starting resources. This one right here will be what my opponent would get, or me if I was the one sitting on the right. And then you're going to keep diving and getting more resources. There are going to be some chances where you can choose the same resources or 2 different resources. So there's quite a good balance of having some strategic decisions in this game, just from what I read through in the rule book. If we look at the insert seems to be very, very... not super. It's not like we don't got game trays here. So Brian asked, how does everything store into the box? Good question, Brian. Let's see. So we have our space here. One thing I like when board game companies and publishers actually put the storage solution, like pretty much how you store the things, because I get stuck having to just figure it out myself. But let's see if that's actually in the rule book here. Nothing there. So we have these dock tiles. Looks like these dock tiles are going to get stored just like this. All right. I'm sure your resources are going to get stored like that across. And then we're going to have our cleanup tokens along here. So actually, I like the storage of this. I do like the storage of this game. So pretty much we have everything there. We have our smaller cards fitting there on the bottom. Here goes our specialist cards. So we have some specialist and decree cards. If I remember correctly, the decree cards are, I think, almost like special events that happen in the game. So with the decree cards, okay, let's move a little bit here. So with these decree cards, all right, so we have our specialists here. All right. And then we have our decree. So it's good. Actually, what I like, I like when there's a player aid placed in there. So it tells you what you can do on your turn, one of 2 things. Even on the back, it tells you the methods for final scoring, end game triggers. This is definitely a bonus when games do that. I do enjoy when they do that. Oh yeah, Brian, Brian says the same thing. When he likes the same thing when publishers actually give you a diagram of storage. Some publishers actually will place it on the inside of the box here, but we actually see they're just advertising what they do. Yeah, the advertising for Flotilla as well. Definitely from my enjoyment of Flotilla, Isaac, if you're listening, if you're watching this later, from what I see here, definitely this is one that I would definitely check out, Isaac, if I was you. I know, again, you're a big fan of Flotilla. I know Derek Funkhauser over at the Board Game Spotlight, when I was talking to him last year, said that Flotilla was in the discussions for his Game of the Year for 2019, and rightfully so. It is a great game. I do enjoy it wholeheartedly. That's a really good game. It's meaty. It's very thinky. But the decisions are good. There's really good card usage in that game. So here are the different decrees. And for example, this one says form a trade pack. Okay. I'll read it. Says when you pay a build cost, you may spend 2 identical resources to substitute for any one demanded resource up to 3 times. So you can actually use resources interchangeably. We got another one here. The transfer crew, it says exhaust one of your face-up specialist cards to exchange up to 3 resources from your reserve with resources from the supply. And you have your specialist cards here. You can actually, there's ways that you can purchase these specialist cards. All right. For an action, let me actually see how this, if I remember getting those specialists, let's look through that rule book. I believe it's part of that. When you build an academy, so when you build an academy, it gives you the opportunity to get a specialist card, and you're able to take one of the 3 that are going to be face up, and then Once that one is done, you're going to refill it. So this one here says, take 1 cleanup token from the supply for each ship located at the flotilla tile with the locked demand token. So what that means here is there are going to be some, let's get back to my main resources. All right, so we have our resources. These are going to be distributed out onto the tile, onto the flotillas. So if we have this out onto a flotilla, all right, there are going to be some situations when a resource will be locked, meaning you won't be able to dive for that resource. Okay, doesn't mean you can't still build, but you won't be able to dive for that resource in that spot. So yeah, it's regular. You got your cardboard chits. They're fairly thick. They're not too thin. So I don't see no issues with this being damaged. So how these work is when you have an opportunity to get when you build a port, you can actually build one of these. You get one of these tiles and you're going to place it off of the edge of the flotilla. So you're kind of building the flotilla out, creating ports that your ships can now come to and dock at. It gives you opportunities to get different victory points, and it lets you know how many things you can get per player. Very, very good game from what I see. I definitely like the look of this. This is one of those that was an instant get for me after playing Flotilla. Thank you, Isaac, for that. So, okay, the judge over there saying, very true. Brian is very helpful when everything gets a place in the box. Yeah, definitely for the seafaring folk, Brian. So if you get seasick, you're blowing chunks over the side of the boat, this is probably not one you want to get into. Or make sure you haven't had too many adult beverages before you get on the boat. All right. So it doesn't see it's short. It's a 30-minute game. Brian asks or makes a statement. This is a crunchy resource builder. It definitely is. Your resource management. It has a little bit of. If I remember correctly, Flotilla had a little bit more of a pickup and delivery to it. This one, let's see. Oh, I like this. Here we go. So yeah. So once everything gets placed out in there, you have some spots for your boards. So your chits, resource chits are going to go here. Your cleanup tokens are going to get lined up in here, along with your port tiles are going to go here. And then great is that they have your player boards are going to cover all these and lock everything in place, which I do like. I definitely do like that. So that one is Seastead from WizKids Games. I will be finishing punching this a little bit later. And then we have, so let's get, oh, here we go. That's right. Let's throw my scorecard there. And so he's going to get points for your resources, points for your dock tiles, and then points for your buildings. Again, points for your specialist tokens, cleanup tokens. Very, very good thematic game is what I did like from the original or from the big box when it came to Flotilla. Seastead, definitely, again, 30 minutes. Very, very crunchy game. This one's designed by Ian Cooper and Jan Gonzalez. So it's a co-design. Again, not the same designers of Flotilla, but it definitely is one that is definitely inspired by Flotilla. I think it fits the theme. And if you one that enjoyed Flotilla, from what the looks of it, I would highly recommend checking this one out. So Brandon, if you're listening or watching this later, definitely check this one out. I don't think I'm getting rid of it. This one will stay on my shelf. But again, it would all determine how that happens after I get my playthrough. So I know Brian's here. Anybody else is here? Let's get some comments. What else do you like to see? Do you want to see some Kickstarter? Actually, you know what? Let's go and these are my bigger stuff. Let's stick with some of the smaller stuff. So we have the Tapestry expansion right here, plans and ploys. We're going to get to that one, Tang Garden. We're going to get to that one. Because you know what's funny is I have not read up on Tang Garden yet. That one I'm very, very interested to check out. So let's spotlight this here. So we've got the Tapestry plans and ploys. This This is again for Tapestry. Tapestry is a civilization building type game. Again, not like your, Sid Meier's Civilization board game, but it is have some good, like an engine building styled game. What's funny is I'm opening the expansion, and over on the shelf is my review copy of Tapestry still in shrink. So I guess we're doing this backwards, but hey, I like it. It's cool for me. All right. So we got Judge over there saying he wants the Kickstarters. We're going to get to those, Judge. And then Brian over there saying Tang Garden. So we got got someone over here saying, hey, sorry, I'm not sure who you are, but for those that are in the chat, or if you are watching over on Facebook, if you click the link on Facebook, down in the description, there is a spot where you can actually, if you want your name and your picture to actually display in the chat, what you need to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. You do that. So it's StreamYard.com/Facebook. You're going to give authorization to StreamYard to connect to your Facebook. And then that will allow your chat to show up. You'll still have your chat show up, but it will actually show. Oh, there you go, Isaac. Hey, welcome, Isaac. Did you see the Seastead unboxing? If not, definitely check this one out. It looks good. It does look good. I think they did. I think from the looks of it, from reading the rule book, I think they knocked it out the park when it comes to capturing that same essence of Flotilla. So, okay, now the Tapestry Plants and Ploys. All right, this one is the one that I picked up. We were thankful enough to get a review copy sent to us by Stonemaier Games of the actual game. This is the expansion. All right, so for those that have it, I know Isaac definitely is a big fan of Tapestry. It's funny because I still haven't played it yet. But here we go. We've got our exploration tiles here. If I remember correctly, this is the replacement tile for one that was not done correctly in the original printing. So that's your replacement tile here. I believe this icon was missing in the base game. So they actually gave you a correct tile, which is good. I'm very thankful for companies that when they do, make a mistake, they honor it by, making sure that they're putting it out there, getting it to you. I believe there was a few people on Board Game Geek that were doing I believe almost like a printout of it. They had a file for it that you can pretty much get a printout, or some people were actually selling the little screen for like $1 or $2 and shipping it out to you. So yeah, Isaac says this one adds some really nice factions to the game. So, which is what I heard. Again, so where's my buddy at? Brian. Is Brian still here? So this one here, game trays. Love when companies that place these game trays. They're really good. They keep everything in place. I'm loving it. So big shout out Stonemaier Games, Jamie Stegmaier over there. Really doing the inserts well. So here we go. We've got some different factions here. All right. So we got the spies, we got the advisors, the treasure hunters, the infiltrators, recyclers, tinkerers. All right, aliens, the utilitarians. All right, islanders and the river folk. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 new factions to the game. I forget exactly how many factions went into this, but you have new buildings, like Isaac says here. You get some fun new buildings. All right, so what's really cool, these are pre-painted. They've got a nice, almost like a clay field and mold to them. I really like the buildings. All right, so for those that can see, all right, they're painted. They've got nice placement in here. I know one complaint that I have seen some people placing, not necessarily on the game, but on the storage, is that sometimes after taking them out, they didn't know where exactly they went. to get the exact best fit. Sometimes we're here, you see they're off place, but after some trial and luck, after playing it quite a bit, I'm sure you will, understand. But I've seen some people who have actually, done some nice printings of the. Let's actually get this a little bit here. All right. So that's that one building. Let me see if I can spotlight this here really quick. All right. Really nice miniatures. The buildings look beautiful. For a quality product, I believe under 30, like about $30, this is going for, just the miniatures alone. Beautiful, beautiful miniatures. You don't get painted miniatures in a $30, let alone a $30 expansion or a the game under $100. I think retail right now is like $79.95 or $79.99. You can catch this one on the Stonemaier Games website. But yeah, definitely look into this game. I will definitely be getting the base game. I've got a draw bag here. I'm not sure if this is a storage bag, draw bag. I believe it's a draw bag, right, for the tiles, for your exploration tiles. We have our cards here. Let's actually open up some of these cards. Let's see what we got here. I'm never really good with these little things. It's always like trial and error, like opening up a pack of bicycle playing cards. We got some new tapestry cards in here. All right, here goes our landmark cards. All right, but your different. Let's actually get it over here. So we've got our different tapestry cards. Manifest Destiny. So this one says, when played, conquer a territory adjacent to your capital city territory. Then you may gain the benefit on that territory tile you control. All right. So for those that don't play, again, I am not the expert in this. Brian again says the game trays. Yes, nice work, Stonemaier Games. Judge, it does look good. A lot of people do like this game. One of the big gripes about this that I've seen is the fact that there's some imbalancing in the different factions that you do play, the different civilizations. But like with any game, there's gonna be some things, especially when you have asymmetrical player powers. Something like any game that has some strategy, more experienced players are gonna probably sometimes find themselves at an advantage of understanding how certain things play, what plays a little bit better. But what's good about this one is that Jamie created a file. Jamie Stegmaier over at Stonemaier Games created a file on BGG where people can actually go and it's also, I think, on his website, can actually log their plays and pretty much record their scores of what faction they played and what their score was, so that they can make the adjustments. And I know that they were putting out files for this game where they had posted almost like an update to almost like an errata to the game, and they would let you know, okay, if you are starting with this faction, you start with 10 less points, or negative 10, or plus 25, just to kind of balance everything out as you played. So here we go. We've got a nice linen finish rule book. I love linen finish rule books. It explains the quality that they put into these productions of these games. So we've got some scenario rules. All right, some campaigns. Why haven't I opened the base games yet? There's some games that just stay on my shelf, and the moment I see them, when I open them, it's like, man, I really got to get to them. So here goes your civilization adjustments, which is nice. That I'm glad that they actually put it in here and didn't just give you a file. But here goes your civilization adjustments. So for example, in the base game, when you were playing with the alchemist, when starting a game with the alchemist, you gain 2 different resources of any type that you want. The architect, when starting the game with the architects in a game with 3 or more total players, you gain 10 victory points per opponent. So playing with 3 players, you're gonna start the game with 30 victory points. So Isaac's over there on YouTube. Isaac, are you hopping around over there? All right, and then but I'm glad you're staying with us. So that is the Tapestry Plans and Ploys. All right. We will be punching this out some more. Let's get to some more unboxings. All right. Let's drop all this in the box. Any questions, any comments, again, please feel free to drop them in there. Please feel free to share this on with your pages, with your friends, different groups. It's also over there. Hopefully my dogs are actually sleeping upstairs right now, so good thing they're not going to come. I'm actually going to do once. Let's stay with the Stonemaier. Let's stay with Stonemaier games. All right, so here is the new Wingspan Oceania expansion. All right, awesome engine building game. This one blew me away. This one, talk about being nominated for Game of the Year. Pretty much every board game content creator, the Dice Tower, people over at Board Game Spotlight, you name it. This game was receiving accolades like crazy. Best card game, best engine builder, best intro level game. So this one here with this expansion, the idea of Wingspan is you have these bird cards, all right, that you can actually pretty much collect these bird cards, and they're going to have some resources that are going to be required to play them out onto your player board. And some of these birds, once they're placed out into their habitats, will give you more cool abilities. They'll be able to lay eggs. They'll be able to score you some points. They'll be able to store some cards. I do like the new addition to the new dice. The new dice actually have there's a new resource in this game. Good thing I didn't go out and splurge yet for the the new upgraded components. Yes, Isaac, Wingspan, beautiful game. Love this game. If I remember correctly, I remember the first time I sat down with Judge to play this game. I said, Judge, let's check this game out. It's don't even look at the theme. It's birds. I know it possibly is going to look boring to most people, but check this one out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how this engine builder plays. And he loved it. After the first play, next thing we did, went right into another play of it. So yeah, that is it's an awesome game. This is one of those that I would gladly pull it out with new gamers. So here we got birds upon birds upon birds, and we've got more birds. All right, 95 bird cards in this game. All right, 95 new bird cards. So this was the designer of this game is Elizabeth Hargrave. Beautiful art that was on Beth Sobel. Has been knocking out the park with her art. Did some art on Calico. And quite a few other amazing games out there. Shout out to Beth Sobel, who's been putting some awesome stuff. She even did some t-shirt designs for some content creators called Our Family Plays Games. They're a husband and wife duo. Nick and Starla over there have been knocking out the park with their reviews and everything that they do, and their son Grant, who's like the mastermind behind all the editing. So Judge has this as one of his favorite games. Brian saying yes, very. So punch and card sleeving party. When? Listen, if I asked Isaac this question one time, I said, "Hey Isaac, do you sleeve?" He says, "No, we don't sleeve." And honestly, I've gotten to the point where sleeving does get expensive. We had to play Dice Masters. I sleeved every single card that I had in my Dice Masters collection. But when it comes to some games, I know if I'm playing a deck builder type game and, with consistently all the shuffling, depending on how much I know that I'm going to get play out of it, I will definitely probably sleeve cards like that. I know my Star Realms collection is sleeved, and some others, but there's some deck builders that I don't sleeve. Because I know they're not going to get thousands upon thousands of plays, or hundreds of plays. But awesome game. Look at the artwork on these cards. And what's interesting about this game is every single bird card is unique in the game. All right, and these ones are these are come from birds are from Australia and New Zealand. So we got the Australian ebees, the Australian shelduck, the Australian zebrafinch. What's awesome about this game is that down at the bottom, actually give you some historical facts about some knowledge about this card. So it says the zebra finches will nest in colonies of as many as 50, building round nests with a side entrance. So it's interesting facts about some of these. It even lets you know the region of where they're found at. Beautiful, beautiful art. So if you see the card right here, these are going to be your habitats that you actually can place the card in. These are going to be the resources that you need to be able to play the card out into your tableau or into the actual habitat. There's going to be some cards that require two different resources or two different. So you have the worm and the rats or the mouse. They're called the food. So depending on what food you need is going to say you have the berries and the invertebrate is what the correct term within the game. All right. So depending on what those are, those allow you to place it. So we have these new nectar. Nectar is the new resource or new food in the game. I believe it's like almost like a wild resource. They got some new scorecards. Okay. But what's awesome about the Wingspan expansions, both of them, is that you pretty much can just mash them up, take all the bird cards, put them together, and shuffle them together. And of course, you have a huge stack, but you can play with everything. Or you can just say, hey, I just want to play just with the Oceania expansion. And if you wanted to separate after shuffling it through down in the bottom corner here, you probably can't see it, but there is an OE. Let's see if this camera will pick it up a little bit better. The OE in the bottom right that lets you know this card comes from that expansion, and you can just shuffle it, take it out if you don't want to play with that. So some beautiful, beautiful art on these cards. Again, linen finish. Stonemaier Games knocking it out the park with the production quality. We have new eggs. Again, I told you that the birds do lay eggs. So these do lay eggs. And then you place these out onto the board, and I'm going to show you the board shortly because this game comes with new player boards. All right, we got some new dice. The new dice have the new resource on it. So when you're playing with this expansion, there you go. You use these dice. Beautiful, nice wooden chunky dice. I love rolling some dice. Roll them in the dice. The game comes with its own dice tower. There's a bunch of people out there upgrading with newer new, wooden dice towers. You name it. We've got some new player mats. Almost like a portfolio. Beautiful art. All right, so these are going to be your different habitats. All right, you've got the almost like the forest or the you've got the I forget you got the wetlands. You've got I forget how they call them in this game. Sorry for that. It's been a while since I played myself some Wingspan. I have been playing it on the thing. I just know where they go, so I just match my thing. But so you have your three different areas, okay, and then you're going to place your cards according from left to right as you place them. So when you're playing them and placing them in this habitat left to right or this habitat left to right, and then when you start there's going to be spots where you can activate your birds. So if you want to do the lay egg action, that means you're going to if you have 3 of the birds in this habitat here and you want to lay an egg, what happens is you're going to actually activate all the birds in that area when you do the lay egg action. Okay, so you're going to activate this bird's ability, then this bird's special ability if it has it, then this bird's special ability. Some birds, when they are activated when you play them, there are some birds that are activated on other situations. There's going to be birds that activate when you lay eggs. So yeah, there's some really cool abilities. So it says when this bird is activated, for example, you can tuck the smallest bird in the tray behind this bird. So the tuck rule in in Wingspan is one of my favorite mechanisms. That just means that when I have this bird out on my player board, and there's going to be actually here a display of cards. It's going to be 3 different cards that are going to be out, different birds that I could potentially purchase. But when this one's activated, I can tuck the smallest bird of these 3 that are in the tray, because they're in the player tray, behind this card. So then what I would do, the game's called Wingspan. We look at the wingspans of the game, of the birds. Let's flip over to this camera here so you can see it. In this side, you have, this is the 22 centimeters. This bird's got a wingspan of 48 centimeters, and this band's got a 30 centimeters. This one's going to say, hey, I can take this card here and then just straight tuck it behind this one. And at the very end of the game, I'm going to get points for cards that are tucked. Okay, really, really cool mechanism. There's the way things chain in this game, incredible way. Like, and they keep going. So we've got some new end round goal cards. We've got the new Automa cards. Excuse me, the Automa cards, and we've got some new scoring cards as well in this expansion. Loving what Stonemaier is doing. Again, linen finish to the rule book, linen finish to the Automa rules for the specific Oceania expansion. So that is Stonemaier's Wingspan Oceania expansion. So awesome, beautiful game. This one's been getting buzz, and rightfully so. I do love this game. I cannot say that enough. All right, so let's get out from there. So let's get into some more Kickstarter content. So we've gone through Seastead from WizKids, and then we did some 2 Tapestry from Stonemaier Games, the Plans Employees expansion, as well as the Wingspan expansion. Quick note on Seastead. It's a 2-player game. I'm actually going to be doing a cool 2-player, some review on some 2-player games. Trying to look for, before the end of the year, I want to put out a YouTube video on what are my top 2-player only games. I know that with the pandemic happening, there are definitely some people that are going to be on lockdown. I know here in Jersey, we're going heavier lockdown, only 10 people allowed in indoor gatherings. So, 2-player games are going to be where it's at. I love games that play well with 2. Primarily, it's me and my wife that do play games together. And so I like a game that plays well at 2, or just 2-player only games. It's quick. So let's get over to some Kickstarters. All right. This is my whole Kickstarter pile. All right. This first one, I know, Brian, you were interested in checking this one out. So this is Moonrakers. All right, Moonrakers. And this one, actually, I already cut out the back. IV Studios, they just did a recent campaign for a new social, I forget what it's like, a social deduction game, but it's a social strategy game is what they call it, if I remember. Or strategic deduction. That's what they call it. A strategic deduction game called Veiled Fate, which looks very good. It's been getting a lot of buzz. This one, I actually just cut this open. Haven't looked in it yet. But here goes. Actually, did I open this yet? I might have. So here goes the rule book. Very nice artwork to this rule book. Not linen finished, but it's got a very nice look to it. So this is a deck builder. Okay, and this game has this cool mechanics of actually having you, this is actually a comic that it comes with. So you get some Moonrakers lore here. All right, so for our comic buffs, we've got some Moonrakers lore, some Moonrakers origins, which is good. And this is the regular standard edition. This isn't the Kickstarter extra cool condition. I think that one came with a different artwork on the box as well. So we have our scoring track board, which you're going to have some prestige. The game gives you some prestige here. All right. So Isaac says Skulk Hollow is a great 2-player game. And I will tell you, Isaac, It just came in today. All right. Skull Hollow is definitely, I wanted to try that one before I did my list. So we were able to get that one in. So here we have some prestige. So we have these cool ships. Depending on this play, this one plays up to 5 players. So we have these cool ship minis here. They're just actually act as score markers, and you're placing them. I believe it's the first to 10 prestige as you play, and you're trying to find ways to get this prestige. What's really cool about this game is that there is a negotiation aspect. Let me see some of these comments here. So Judge says, I've seen this and I've loved what I've seen so far. This one is, for example, beautiful, attractive artwork. Yes, he's talking about the Oceania Wingspan Oceania expansion. Or are you talking about this one, Judge? Oh, yes. Judge loves his deck build. He's talking about Moonrakers. So this one, yes. So this is actually Veiled Fate. So again, this one came out. The Kickstarter just recently launched. Forgive me, my there we go. Let's get that off of there. So here we go. Veiled Fate. That's my little ad in there. Let's get that off to the side. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. So everybody has a player board. Okay. Ships. I know Brian's a huge sci-fi fan. All right. So when it comes to with Moonrakers, you have your ship and you can place upgrades on your ship that allow you to do things. But not only are you placing upgrades on your ship, you are also can hire crew members to be on your ship. So you have 4 spots to actually place them, whether it be crew members or upgrades to your ship. So you have a crew manifest here. All right. So you have ship parts. You have crew manifest. Actually, this is going to be where your parts go, but your crew actually goes off to your side. So yes, I have opened this because all the cards are out of the shrink, but which is good. I haven't really looked at it, so I want to give you guys a good look at Moonrakers. Okay, so these are my ship parts. This is at the start of a contract. You get +1 card if you have no reactors in your hand. So how the game works is everybody starts off with a basic starting hand of cards. You're going to have, there's an action deck, okay, and you have some cards that are misses, all right? You have some cards that are going to be pretty much hits or damages. Actually, you're going to receive damage, so there's damage that you receive. Or let me see, I believe it's damage that you receive. There's some hits that you can give. There's some shields that you can block from, all right? You're able to block hazards because there's going to be hazards that come your way. There's also going to be, we have some more action cards here. These are thrusters. Thrusters are like cards that get you through your deck. So this way, if you play a thruster lets you draw 2 more cards. You have your reactors. Your reactors will give you 2 more actions. There's a set number of actions that you can have on your turn. And how the game works is you can go out and try and complete a contract, okay? So the contract says I must meet these requirements, okay? I must have 4 of these in play, 5 of these to be able to complete this contract. But there's hazards. So this potentially can give 4 hazard if this is, if this is not completed, or be able to, this is doing 4 hazards. So you need those shields to be able to block this. But what's cool is that you're going to be able to get prestige points for completing this contract, 5 prestige, which is pretty much half of the total. You got to get to 10 to win the game, and you get 12 coins. All right. So you're like, oh, how can you possibly do this with the limited number of hands that you're going to be able to do? That's where the negotiation comes into play, because this game has like a little cooperative somewhat aspect where you as a player, you can call out to the other players on the board, at the table, and say, hey, I would like to have you, does anybody want to go on this contract and try and complete this contract with me? It could be 1 person, it could be 2 people, it could be 3. And then you place a negotiation on how, if you complete this, how you're going to divvy up those rewards. So who's going to get of the 5 prestige, who's going to get the 5 prestige? Who's going to get the 12 coins? How are you going to divvy it out? So you got to have to find a way to convince your opponents, hey, I'll give you the 3 prestige. I have, I can do some damage, or I can maybe have the right reactors for this card, whatever the case may be. But I need some people to go in on this other resource, or this playing this other card, so that we can complete this. And your opponents can either choose to jump in with you or not. And you have the negotiation of saying, hey, I'll jump in with you. What are you going to give me? And you say, well, I'll give you, if we do it, I'll give you 3 of those coins. And then, I'm going to take the other. And you say, no, I want 5 of those coins. So there's a back and forth negotiation there as well, which is really, really cool. That I do like about this game. So we've got some more. So we have objective cards. So the objective cards tell you what you need to do. You have to acquire 3 Henko ship parts for your ship. So if you complete this objective, you're going to get some prestige points for that. So the damage is the damage that you're going to be doing. Some of these objective cards require damage. But what's awesome, you can hear metal coins. All right, beautiful metal coins. Chunky 3-point metal coins here. And we've got the smaller 1 points here. Beautiful, beautiful coins. I like the coins here. So if you're a sucker for metal coins, this game comes standard. The every edition comes with the metal coins, not just the Kickstarter edition or the deluxe edition. But if I remember correctly, the next step above this was a couple different. It came with some more cards, some more cards for the action deck, some more objectives, some more ship parts. Again, there's a different box art as well. And if you couldn't actually pay to upgrade the plastic ships and get the metal ships as well. So here goes some of the crew members that you can have. So when you can play your crew member when you draw it out of your deck, and you can play it as 3 damage plus 1 action. So when you play this gets you 1. It's almost like 1 3 damage card. All right, you got Ryle Al-Ren, which lets you, when you play him, and again, you're playing these like if you had regular things. This says you can negate 2 hazard or reduce the shield requirement by 2. So that one card that says you need a certain number of shield to be able to complete that contract, or this one, or the one that says it was coming in, I think it was up to 5 prestige points. If you had this card, instead, it's 5 prestige points, but it was giving you 4 hazard. This negates half of the hazard that's coming at your way. So again, you have to negotiate with your opponents, not only who's going to get the rewards for going out on these and completing these contracts, but who's going to split up the hazard. You're going to take the least amount of hazard and also the more money. Listen, I'll take more hazard, but I want more pay for doing so. All right, we're in a pandemic here, but no, seriously, this game definitely has some fun negotiating aspects to it. I definitely can't wait to play it. It does play at 2. I believe there is even a 1 player. This one goes 1 to 5 players, so it does have a solo mode. So 60 to 120 minutes on this one. And that is Moonraker. So Judge over here saying, Ashley Music Movie Productions says, oh yeah, I definitely want to play this game too. So that is that one. All right. Let's get into some other games. We got, Brian, for you, Tang Garden. All right, Tang Garden here is one that was sent to us by Lucky Duck Games. It is also co-published by Thundergriff. Okay, so they sent this one as a review copy. We're going to be reviewing this one soon. But let's actually check this out. Beautiful, beautiful art. I don't really know much about this one, so if anyone is familiar with Tang Garden, please drop a line in the comments. Let me know. But pretty much it says the Tang Dynasty 618 through 907 is considered the first golden age of the classic Chinese garden. Emperor, I'm not even going to pronounce that, built the magnificent imperial garden, the garden of the majestic clear lake near, another spot I can't pronounce, and lived there with his famous concubine. Players take the roles of engineers who have been summoned to build a garden while balancing elements of water, rock, and greenery. So you're going to need to balance those resources. They need to decorate the garden with pavilions, bridges, and different types of vegetation and animals such as goldfish and birds. During the construction, characters will visit the garden to inspect how the elements are arranged and admire the surrounding landscape. Just the art. Oh my gosh, the art's beautiful on this. All right, beautiful artwork here. Loving that one. All right, let's put this off to the side. Here, Tang Garden. All right, what do we got here? It's this little punch boards can be found below the insert. Good to know. Thank you for letting me know that, because I'll be honest, back when I first started this hobby, I was like, I'm missing components. But there's going to be some that actually store below this. Nice, big rule book. Got some beautiful things. We're going to have the game board. We have starting tiles. We're going to have garden tiles. So this is a tile laying game. We're going to have our coins, our different tokens, lantern, solo lantern tokens. There's minis. So if you're a person who loves minis in the game, this one's got some minis. Beautiful color in the book. Awesome. All right, so that's, we're going to be building out our gardens, scoring some points. Different characters. I'm not sure if we'll see if the characters have asymmetric player powers. Here goes our player board. Wow. Beautiful player board. All right, let's get this bad boy off to the side. All right, so there goes our player board here. We've got, again, our player tiles. Here, it's got some recesses, which I like. Allows your cubes to kind of sit in where they're not sliding around. My Terraforming Mars people know what I'm talking about. I love games that, these are thick. They're not, not cheap, flimsy cardboard. Nice thickness. But I like games that understand that you're going to have resources moving on your player board, and you don't want them just, if you bump the table, for them to be sliding around. So we've got our character cards here. The Architect, the Child, Emperor. Beautiful artwork. For those that want to see it, look at the artwork on this one here. All right, again, like I said, I don't know much about the game, but beautiful components. Here goes. Let me look at the rulebook, see what these are called. Oh, look at that. They're part of our decorations. We've got 36 of these pieces here, which will allow us to build our garden pieces. Let's actually get to some of these minis. That's where all the fun's at, right in the minis. So here goes our build one of these structures. All right. So we've got our, for almost like our little huts here, we've got mini stands for our minis here as well. Beautiful miniatures. They're not super heavy detailed, because obviously it's a smaller game, so don't even try and get me to paint these, but I'm sure these will sit on there as such. They snap in. Beautiful. Let's get a close-up of that there. So this one looks very stunning, very stunning. Let's actually get into some pieces here. All right. We've got our cubes. This is going to be our counting cubes on our resource board. All right. And then we also have here some decoration cards. So these are going to be the different decorations that you can place out into the garden. Let's check out the artwork on this. Beautiful, beautiful art. Never been to Japan, all right, but I will tell you that I have been to San Diego, and they have a beautiful Japanese garden that was gifted to the U.S. over there in Balboa Park in San Diego. But beautiful artwork. So we have some fish. We've got some birds that we're going to be placing out into our gardens. Different types of flowers. The peonies, the lotus flower. All right, look, and finally for those Magic players, I got a black lotus here. But yes, different types of magnolia trees. We've got weeping willows. All right, beautiful, beautiful art on this game. So again, I'm going to have to work my way around getting everything back into this box. But man, this is beautiful. Let's look at the player boards underneath. Let's move this off to the side. And here goes our player boards here. Actually, look right here really quick. Boom, boom, boom. Now I've figured out what... Oh, look at me all moving everything around. So Judge is over saying, I definitely want to play this game as well. Yes, Judge, I want to play every game. Just can I honestly play every game is the big question. So that's always what it comes down to. Can I can I obviously play every game that I want to play? So here we go. We've got some of these here. Will again allow us to build beautiful, beautiful punch outs. Nice thick punch outs as well. What's really cool from what I'm looking at is these play into three-dimensional decoration. They actually build. Sorry, let's actually build this piece here. And these place right on top. Beautiful, beautiful production. All right, so we're going to be building little structures. It's like Legos. But then we got our punch boards here. We've got our coins. Coins definitely probably going to interchange. If I want my metal coins, I'll probably take some of the ones that I have from Rising Sun and use them in here. Or potentially another game that I have with these Japanese themed coins. And then here are my tiles here for there we go. All right. So for my garden, so we have our garden tiles here. Ooh, beautiful. We even have our landscape tiles. So these landscape tiles, if I'm correct, are going to get placed around the board to create some landscaping. And then we also have some tree tiles as well. So building some three-dimensional trees in this game to create beautiful, beautiful components. The artwork's stunning. I'm definitely going to be looking into this one. Going to check this one out. Be on the lookout for yes. Looks good. Not sure, Isaac. Have you played this one or tried this one yet? I know I've heard some buzz. I know a lot of people were talking about trying to get into this game. But man, this one's artwork is stunning. Stunning. Yes, Judge as well says this game looks so good. Beautiful. We'll find out how good it is, but I will tell you that it definitely is a beautiful production. All right, so let's get some of this components back in here, but be on the lookout for our review of Tang Garden very, very soon, because this game just looks too beautiful not to get to the table as quickly as possible. So here goes my player boards down in here. And lower recesses. We'll figure it out to this point. So let's try some stuff there. That's Tang Garden. Thundergriff Games, and co-produced by, this was sent to us by them, as well as Lucky Duck Games. So we'll see how this all stores once everything's built. Let's see if we've got some storage solutions or explanations in the rulebook. I do not see anything, but when it's not here, I am sure BGG will handle all my questions on how to get this game put back in this box. Definitely a lot of components, beautiful components. Definitely not something that is sore on the eyes, but that is Tangarden, Thundergriff Games. All right, and Lucky Duck. All right, so we want to talk about some more beautiful, beautiful games. Let's look at this bad boy here. Yido Deluxe Edition, Kickstarter delivery. Yido is, for those, it's been most compared to as Lords of Waterdeep, a slightly heavier form of Lords of Waterdeep, where there are contracts that players are going to have to complete, and depending on the level of difficulty of those contracts is going to determine what your points are, your victory points. This one was first introduced to me by a good buddy of mine that I play Dice Masters with, buddy Nuon, who this is his all-time favorite game. And when I found out they were doing a deluxe edition of this game, because it's been out of print for so long, the first thing he said was, I am backing this, and I'm backing it and getting 2. So he says, I want 1 on display, and I want 1 to be able to play. And he actually brought his copy of the original Yido to play at PAX Unplugged for us. Judge and I were able to play that, and man, that one, it's a beautiful, beautiful game. Very, very fun. There is, other than like, there's some take that elements, but one people's complaint about Yido is that they didn't like the take that aspect of the game. But what Board and Dice did in this production is that they decided to add modules to this game that you can, put into the game and take out that would determine, how much, what type of game of Yido do you want to play? Do you want to play something that's a little bit more on the lighter side? Do you want to play someone that's like heavy conflict between you and other players? So it added that. Huge player aids. Here goes our player aid. This one came up with some co-op elements as well. So here we got our player aids. Very, very detailed. A lot of writing on here, but I will tell you that once you play the game, the turns are very easy. There's only a few things that you can do on your turn. There are different phases in the game that you can do. And this is a worker placement game. All right. Nice thick rule book. The artwork is stunning. All right. We've got our annexes. We have weapons in this game that you're trying to acquire because you're going to need certain resources, certain weapons that are going to be needed to, and certain money to be able to complete some of these contract cards. But there's a bidding phase in this game that you're going to be bidding for turn order. All right. When you bid for turn order, that's going to determine obviously who's going to go first, because there's going to be some things that you want out there that are going to, again, game tree, sorry. But there are going to be some contract cards that you're trying to complete that you specifically want to get done. So you need that specific resource, that specific weapon in this game to complete your card. And so you might want to have to bid on certain coins to be able to get that. And definitely they up the size on the cards. Beautiful, large cards. So we've got the different, and what's cool about this game is there's different level of contracts. Okay. Let me see if I can get, there we go. Make sure I get refocused back in there. There's going to be different levels of contracts, different colored levels. So we've got the yellow contracts, we've got the red contracts, the blue contracts, and the red ones are going to be the hardest. I believe the yellow ones are the medium ones. The blue ones are the easiest. But for example, in this game, for example, with this contract card, you're going to need these weapons along with paying 2 coins, and then this is what you're going to receive for winning, for doing it. But if you, for completing the card, but you also there's a bonus if you have, I believe it's if you have this as, yes, if you, whatever you have here in this, I guess the background is more of that mustardy color. Whatever, when you have this, you're going to get the 2 victory points along with a total of 8 mon, which is the money in this game. But if you also have one of these geishas, own one of these geishas, you're also getting an additional 5 mon. Okay, so that's the money, the currency in the game. Depending on what tokens you have, is going to be determining on what you can do. All right, so there are some more cards. So again, what is with the things that do not have the back end, doesn't have a background color, that's what you need. What has the spots here, this is going to be what you receive. You're going to get 5 victory points, you're going to get 15 mon, and you're going to get to draw another card. And the ability to get more cards into your hand is going to be the ability to be able to place these contracts. This game is played over a set number of rounds, and after that set number of rounds, game's over. One complaint that you got from a lot of people were that the rounds just took too long. The game took too long because you had to play the full round, but with this new deluxe master set, they revamped the rules, allowing you to actually play a short, a medium, and a full long game as well. So we got to say, they think about me when making player aids. Yeah, they think about me too. Helps with the analysis paralysis. What's really awesome about here is the geishas are the wooden tokens. Nice geishas, nice and thick. The original game had player like little cardboard chips. You have your screen printed meeples. So much packed into this game. Screen printed meeples for those that want to see them. All right. We've got our draw bags here for the different resources that you get in the game. You have your Watchman token. So pretty much this Watchman token is going to be going around the board, and wherever this token is at, pretty much you will get caught by the Watchman and you'll get arrested, or certain spots you can't go into when that Watchman token is there. You have your different markers, your score point markers that are going to move around the board to indicate where you are at on the different tracks. And we're going to look at the player board shortly. Here as well, if I remember correctly, these are your favor tokens. I believe that's what it's called. It's been almost a year to the day. The blessing tokens. So you get more blessings to be able to complete things. I believe you can pay your blessings to be able to mitigate certain things within the game as well. Beautiful production. Wow, and we will be definitely sorting this one out very soon. We're going to have to. And man, look at punch boards on punch boards on punch boards. All right, so these are our player punch boards, and what's really cool in the original game, you had a flat board. Now with the new player boards, and I'll show you them here, is they punch out. So when you have a blessing, your blessing sits right in this. So it's almost, nice recessed tray. If you get geishas, your geishas sit in here, your wooden geishas. This is the spot for your annexes. And I'll show you the annexes here on this board here. So you have your annexes, and you would place your annexes on your player board, and they would just fit as so, like this. there's different annexes that you can try and purchase. All right. But when you go deluxe, why not go deluxe? So here we go with the new annexes. So we got the thick annex tokens, and this is going to take the place of your cardboard punched out annex tokens. So we have those. We have the metal first player token. All right, the two-sided token here. We also have the metal coin set. These were, part of the additional. So we have the punch boards. If you wanted to get the game, it does come with the punch board tokens as well for the money. But who doesn't like having some money that is metal, clings and clangs around? So yes, it's going to be good about this is we'll be able to interchange these coins and use these in Tank Garden. So we've got 5s, 1s, and 10s, and they are definitely some beautiful coins. All right. So we're going to do this one here. I'm going to show you the player board, huge player board. We're going to get to that one shortly. Let's actually clean some of this up. Make sure we're good on everything that we have. All right, we're definitely going to have to be organizing this soon. I have an 18-month-old that's going to be running around the house, and definitely don't want game pieces flying all over the place. All right, so those are player boards. There's more player boards in here, more punch-out tokens. We have our punch-out tokens for our weapons towards the back. There goes our weapons, our different player pieces. We've got our victory points. So once you go around the board, it's 50 points. You're going to use that. So beautiful, big chunky components for our weapons. I believe in the original game, the weapons were cards that you had instead of these actual little token pieces, which is going to be a nice addition to those that have the original version of this game. And of course, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This huge double-sided player board. Okay, and we're going to need to make some space because this player board is huge. All right, we've got the player aids. Let's move these over here. All right. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get this whole thing into the shot. We will do our best. Let's move some over here. And then I'm assuming this is for our solo mode, our player track for our solo mode as well, how things work here. And then you have your objectives, whether they're easy, normal, hard, is going to be the different points that you're going to get on your solo mode. This is something that's new that's been added to this game, and definitely interesting to see how the solo mode plays. But man, look at the board. The board is a sprawling board. Huge board. Again, this is a worker placement game. So how this game's going to work? Wow, can't even fit it all into the shot. Can we get it in the shot? There we go. Almost. All right. So how this game will work is we have our round track here. Depending on how many rounds you want to start with. I think 6 is the short game, 8 is going to be the medium game, 11 is going to be the long game. Here is where we're going to place out our different objective cards. Actually, it's going to be the green's going to be the easiest, then the second hardest objective cards to get. These are pretty much your contracts. The black cards, again, are going to be the hardest ones. I forgot. I thought I said red. Yes, but it's going to be the black. Now, on your turn, you're going to be bidding on what type of things you want to get, whether you want to get weapons, whether you want to be the first to purchase an annex, whether you want to buy a geisha, whether you want to get a special a special worker to add for your turn, so you get an additional worker on your turn to play, or you want to come over here and bid on contracts. So if you look at the money mon, so this one says 3, 3, 3, the 3 mon, and this one starts at 5 mon. So pretty much you have to open the bid. First player will get to open the bid depending on what the turn order is, and the turn order will change throughout the game. It's going to say, all right, you can bid your 5 mon for that. For this specific spot. I want to get a geisha this turn. I need a geisha to complete a contract. So I'm going to open the bid at 5 or 6 mon, and you keep going around and you're bidding until someone eventually chooses not to bid and the highest bidder gets that spot. You pay those tokens to the bank and you get it. Over here, when you're bidding for turn order, you're going to have to start your opening bid at 3 mon. So the question here, Judge said, yes, that is a very crazy board. The board is crazy, but what's cool is that it's two-sided. The artwork is completely different from the new board. I actually like this board a little bit better than the original game board. How long is estimated gameplay? If I remember correctly, let me look at the back of the box. This one lasts anywhere from, if I remember correctly, 90 minutes to about 180. Let's look at the back. I want to make sure that I get that number correctly. So we're at about an hour to 2 hours on gameplay for this one. Again, this one plays 1 to 5 players. Again, that is because this one added a solo mode to it. But there is, again, another side to the board. And this one is a little bit more easier on the eyes for those that don't like the crazy busy board. Beautiful, beautiful white. I do love this. The other one was more closer to the original artwork with the crazy, not the crazy, but the more bright colors, things like that. So they muted the background and allows you to highlight what is needed. This would definitely work good for people who are the first time players of it that just want to focus on where they need to go. So how it would work is your watchman is going to be moving in different directions around this board. Again, these are the different ways that you're going to be bidding. You're going to be bidding for the things on the outside of this track here. All right. And then these are your weapons that you can purchase. So when you try and bid for a weapon, you can either choose to take 3 weapons off of the top of the stack and then select one, or you can just be able to, I think this is actually where you purchase a weapon. So on your turn, you're going to be going to different worker spots. Okay. And the first person to get to that worker spot gets that place. And worker placement game, there are going to be places that can be blocked off potentially. But if you're going here, it's going to allow you to get weapons and you pay the amount for the weapons. And again, the first person to go here gets the first choice and the second person. And this, you can only go into this third spot if you have 4 players or more. If you're going to go to the temple to worship, you can worship. It's a 1 spot in a 2-player game. It's for 3-player game, 5-player game. You're going to get a blessing. You go here. If I remember correctly, this is going to allow you to get more cards. This one allows you to pay to get victory points or to get more another worker. This one here allows you to get the annexes. Then this one allows you to, remember, you go out, this is one that you're going to pay to get victory points. And then over here, you're going to be able to, allows you to get more points for geishas and things like that. Very, very neat game. There is a lot. This is definitely, I wouldn't say, if you're into worker placements and you want to introduce someone to a worker placement game for the first time, I would say definitely go with Lords of Waterdeep first, because it is definitely more easier entry level. Definitely not as much take that. I know with newer players, you definitely don't want to turn them off from a worker placement game, or turn them off from any game, honestly. So having a game that is nice and easy to get the work, to get them to play and not be discouraged from a lot of take that, or a lot of, oh, I just don't know how to play this game. I would introduce them to Lords of Waterdeep and then go into this. But if someone who is experienced with worker placement games, they have some worker placement background underneath or under their belt, you can jump right into this, and I'm pretty sure they will have no problem understanding how this game is played. But that one is Yito, and it's a beautiful, beautiful production. Comes with the game trays. we're going to see if this even gives you some introduction on how you're going to pack this game into these game trays, because there are so many components in this game. You've got your wooden disciples, which are your workers that you're going to be placing out. You start with there's 4 of each in 5 different colors. If you add the different modules, you can add different specialists that you're able to get to give you certain abilities. Again, some of these specialists have a specific ability. The ninja can do certain things that some of the other specialists cannot, as opposed to the monk and whatnot. So the idea is you're trying to get the win over the favor of the shogun in this game. And the person who can get the most victory points has won the favor of the shogun, and they are the master of Yedo. So I think we have done it. Is there, if anybody's out there, anything else that we want to watch? I'll tell you exactly what I have here sitting on my shelf. I've got a big box here of Dwellings of Eldervale. Well, we probably can save that one for a nice special unboxing. And actually, let's go into this. I'll do this one really, really quick. It's a nice lot of bits in this, but man, have I been looking to look at this one. This is PAX Premiere 2nd edition. This is a play on a war game. The setting is Afghanistan in the 1800s, and it says the Durrani princes held together the empire that stretched from the frontiers of Persia to Punjab. Now their authority has collapsed and new rivals emerged from the shadows. This is definitely a war take that type of game. This one plays from 1 to 4 players, I believe. Actually, 1 to 5 players. It plays in from 45 minutes to 150 minutes, so slightly about 2.5 hours. Definitely a long game, but man, the production quality on this game, from what I have seen, is incredibly beautiful. Got interior artwork. This one is designed by Cole Worrell, designer of the critically acclaimed board game Root, which I know Isaac over at Gaming with Sidekicks is a huge fan of Roots. I suck at it. I've played it on the app, and I just keep getting beaten. So here goes my my rule book. We've got our components. We've got our setup. I know there's a couple people that have raved about this game, the gameplay. Our good friends over at Thinker Themer, Amy and Maggie, recently did a review on this game, and wow, it's definitely one that looks good. It's something I've never played before. There is going to be almost like a turn order track, or where you can actually move around. There's these cards that you're going to be able to get into your tableau. All right. And you're playing these cards out in front of you. There's different actions that you have, and you're vying for dominance. But what's crazy is that everybody has the ability to change the ruling, the who is in charge. So you have the British, the Russians, and the Afghans that are vying for control over the land. And at one point, the Russians can be in control of the land, and you can change that to have the Afghans have control. And it's one game that I know changes drastically as you play. So here goes my player board that's going to allow me to have play my cards, have my cards displayed out. I will play this over here. All right. So that's that right there. Very nice board. Nothing super, super crazy special here, but it is very nice quality. Good feel on that. We've got some player aids again. +1 for player aids when they're in the box. All right. And game trays. Game trays. So we have this board that's display, and this is a double-sided board because I believe it has on the other side. Here goes the map, and you can play with the map here. But what's interesting about this game comes with a playmat. And the playmat is not your traditional neoprene-styled playmat. This playmat is cloth. Beautiful, beautiful rolled-out cloth playmat. And man, look at the art on that, the vibrant colors there. You have your different areas of Afghanistan, Kabul, Kandahar, you got Persia over here. So you play this board out, lay it out, and you're going to be playing your clay pieces, because this board has some beautiful clay pieces, and these actually are nice shrink wrapped. All right, so these will actually go into the player spot here, but these will determine who has dominance in certain areas in the game. Again, the yellow represents the Russians, the green, if I remember correct, actually, yeah, the pink, the British, and the green, the Afghan. And then as you're playing, depending on how you play, you have different roadway sections. I'm going to have to definitely read the rule books on this one, but check out, I'm telling you, if you want to get a good introduction on how this game is played, check out the Thinker Themer YouTube page. Maggie and Amy do an awesome job of this. Maggie is definitely the themer person. She's heavy on the theme of games, and Amy is the thinker person. She's, wondering about what the mechanics of a board game are, and she's heavy on mechanics, not so much on theme. But both of them rave about this game, that it is highly, highly thematic, but the mechanics run so smooth. There's so much you can do. A lot of decision making in this game. I know I've been in a bunch of different board game discussion groups, and a friend of ours, Jin, is in love with this game. He's the one that highly recommended it. But man, these little clay pieces are incredible. Good detail to them as well. This is going to determine how you're going to be able to go. So it's got some card-based actions. So your turn structure here is you're going to have your discarding down to a certain hand size, or a court size and a hand size. You're going to resolve some events, and you're going to fill the market. So you have your core actions that you can do. You can purchase something, purchase a card that's in the display, or you can play a card. All right. And then they're going to impact the different types of icons. So you're going to look at the different icons on your board, on your card, and do those specific actions when you play those cards. All right. So you can block, you can play a coalition blocks to be able to block a region or change loyalty in a region. You can place one of your cylinders on a card. All right. That, again, now this card, I guess, will become a spy. You can have this piece becomes a tribe member. You have army pieces that you can play out. So when you play pieces up, face up, they're armies. Okay. You can get money from the bank. And from my understanding, this game is very, very tight on the money, on the economy. So this is one that you have to manage your money correctly, or else. Let's put it that way. You'll be in a tight. And from my understanding, I've heard that this is one of those games where if you don't manage your money correctly, there can be some spots where you have no money to do anything that you want to do. But we've got a lot of nice. We've got baggies upon baggies upon baggies. We have our cards here. Let's check out some of the artwork on these cards really quick. All right, again, I'm terrible at opening. All right, look at that. Much better. Much, much better. All right. So let's look at some of the artwork on here. All right. So this is going to tell you the different actions you're able to do when you play this. All right, you can play an army player. You can play one of your, you can place a spy down, or you can place a tribe member down. So, wow, this is, so much to this game. Very, very nice artwork. I do love the art. It's got that historical theme element to it. Definitely very 1800s art. Beautiful, beautiful artwork to this game. Nice wooden components. Definitely didn't go cheap here. We've got our wooden tokens for the various players. We've got our dominance token. I believe it's the dominance token that lets you know your actions, or what you can do on that turn. Your favorite suit. So whatever the favorite suit or who's in control is going to be moving along this. So different actions that you can play. So this is going to be moving along here. whether we're heavily moving towards war. And then we've got these wooden discs as well. Very, very nice components. These are our ruler tokens. All right, so very, very nice wooden components. Very beautiful. A lot of people are heavy on, minis and, nice games that have minis or something that people are always heavily attracted to. I like a game that has some nice wooden components and wooden meeples. Very, very beautiful, beautiful production here on this one. And that is PAX Premier. Definitely going to be checking this one out. And I like it does come with game trays, which is always a plus on the game trays. So you have your roll board or your rolled out little cloth mat, or you can play on that the actual player board mat there. So pack this guy up. Going to have to do some organizing on this one. Definitely going to read some more on those rules and how this one is played. But I know this one is one that definitely caught my eye. I heard a lot of rave reviews. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's check it out. Let's see what the rave is all about. We'll give it a play. See what people are talking about when they raved about PAX Premier. So that is everything fit nicely into the box, which I love. And I do have the metal coins. They are actually on my shelf in a bag. So this one I do have the metal coins for on PAX Premier as opposed to just the cardboard punch outs. So for those that are interested in a next unboxing, I won't be doing it tonight because this one is a monstrosity, but this has been my most highly anticipated game, and that is Dwellings of Elder Vale. I'm very, very psyched to do an unboxing of this one soon, whether we do it live or whether we do it not live, and I'll just record it. We'll see. But Dwellings of Elder Vale is definitely a huge Luke Laurie design. Luke Laurie is the designer as well of Manhattan. Where are we at? There we go. Manhattan Project Energy Empire, which is another worker placement game. This game is a little bit of worker placement game, area control, which again, PAX Premier is a little bit of area control, tableau building type game. This one is more worker placement, which worker placement is my jam. I love worker placement games. To be honest, this whole top two shelves is all worker placement, except for Glenmore 2 Chronicles. Not more worker placement. Still haven't played that one yet either. But pretty much everything else is here. It's got more things in the works. We've got some Viscounts of the West Kingdom. I'm loving the West Kingdom series. Those fans that are Raiders of the North Sea trilogy, I love the West Kingdom trilogy. That's Architects, Paladins, and the new one, which was this year, which is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. So that one's good to check, that I'm going to be checking out. I also have the other new ones from Board and Dice as well. Tekenu, Obelisk of the Sun, and Tawantin Suyu, the Incan Empire, that I still have to actually unbox those, check those out. But there's a lot of reviews out there. Again, this is not a review video. This is a unboxing because I have to watch these reviews, not the reviews, but I have to watch the playthroughs as well and read some rule books to start getting these things to the table. Unfortunately, a lot of these games I've already had on order or on Kickstarter or some reviews that have come through. But with the pandemic, it does make it tough to always get these games to the table. And with a wife who is in her master's program as well, it's tough that my primary gaming partner doesn't always have the full amount of time. But trust me, we've been getting some games to the table. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming through. For those that did stop by, that got into the chat, we appreciate you stopping by the Lobby of Hobbies. For those that want to check us out, we are on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can just search us, the @ Lobby of Hobbies, on any of those platforms. You'll get to us. So on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Lobby of Hobbies or groups/Lobby of Hobbies. You can like us on Facebook and get into our group where we have a lot of things. This is actually where we posted this live here as well. And for those of you that are on YouTube, we stream to YouTube as well. And we're trying to hit that 100 subscribers so we can actually have our own YouTube direct. I could just give you Lobby of Hobbies and you can go right to that on YouTube. But on Instagram and Twitter, you can check us out there as well. We do thank you. We do have a podcast, and that podcast is on every major podcasting software. So whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or even Anchor, which is our host, Anchor.fm. You can even look on Anchor.fm and then choose whichever platform you want to listen to. You'll be able to listen to us. Our most recent episode, again, was done on this past Tuesday. The next one will be in another 2 weeks, and we will be dropping some game content. Again, our recent podcast was all about our talks on our top selections for games that you can whether buy for your family, friends, and loved ones, whether it be stocking stuffers, whether it be video games or board games. Again, here at the Lobby Hobbies, we don't mind what you're into. As long as we know that everybody's into something, share your hobby with us. We will gladly check it out, and we'll talk about it. But if there's something that you want to listen to, something you want to see, shoot us an email, thelobbyofhobbies@gmail.com. Again, it's thelobbyofhobbies@gmail.com. Shoot us an email or drop a comment in the description, or drop a comment to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll get back to you. We like to engage with the community. Thank you so much, and look forward to my top 2-player games of all time coming soon. You guys have a good one. I like dancing. Not really. My daughter's the dancer. All right, guys, have a